Do not adjust your sets, your eyes do not deceive you. The scenes that you are seeing right now are from a 4th tier football match. Bradford are averaging crowds bigger than Premier League teams and teams all over Europe, and they're holding their own as one of the best supported clubs in the country. Stick around to see who they have bigger attendances than. I'll run you through numerous teams all around Europe and England who Bradford are beating on a regular basis in terms of their attendance. Hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you at Valley Parade for what is probably the best 4th tier fan base in the world. Wow, it's a big old stadium. Of course it is. Like, that is pretty much the point of the video. Even from down on that road, like, you can feel how big and imposing the stands are. But look, it's a proper old classic ground, how it's like right near the houses of the people. You have the biggest average attendance in League 2 by a long way this season. I think by over 10,000 of the next team.
We're a Premiership League side.
You think the stature of the club, you should be in the Premier League, even Championship minimum, right?
Minimum.
So why the club in League 2 then compared to where they really should be in terms of like the size of the club?
Misfortune.
So it's been about a couple of years then?
It has. It all started when we went into administration and we haven't recovered properly yet.
And so you'll remember the Premier League days of...
Oh yes, 1999.
Even the 2000-2001 season, you got relegated and so did Man City.
We did.
That season.
But it's all about funding.
Right, yeah. But look at them, they've had the funding and they've now won trebles. You're now in League 2, so...
We had Phil Parkinson, who was meant to be God's gift to football. He did nothing. And
so what kind of position are the club in now then, financially and for the future? Are they better now than what they maybe have been?
Yes. We had the runs of the League Cups, went to Wembley 2-3 times in a row.
Yeah.
You can't say we're not a big side.
Yeah, 100%. And look at the size of the stadium as well. This is not what you expect when you see League 2, is it?
It was built for the Premier League.
Yeah, of course. And so how many do you reckon will be here today then?
23,000.
Wow, for League 2. You're going for the league, aren't you? So.
Oh yes.
You're going for promotion.
Well, if they decide they want to do it.
This isn't the type of stadium that you'd associate with League 2, especially like the kind of teams that we've been covering recently. What about Harrogate? We went to the smallest stadium in the EFL, Harrogate, and they're in the same league as what Bradford are. Around 20 years ago, Bradford were in the Premier League. I think it was the 2000-2001 season. They finished bottom and got relegated out of the Premier League, and they've never been back since. But look who else got relegated with them. Man City. Man City, Coventry, who are Championship now with Frank Lampard, and Bradford all got relegated in the same season. Look at where Bradford are now, League 2. Look at where Man City are now, winning trebles. Doesn't that just go to show how quickly football can change for teams like Bradford, who obviously are massive, they have massive potential, yet they're in League 2, and they've been getting huge crowds this season. This place has got a capacity of 25,000, and I'm hoping it's close to a sellout today. Look at all the fans coming up, all the traffic. James, big Bradford City fan.
Yeah, big fan.
Why does Bradford have such a good fan base?
Just, I think it's cheap season tickets. I've been a fan since about 97, 98.
Okay.
So we had about 18,000 and we're in Premiership.
So you had 18,000 on average in the Prem?
Yeah.
And
18.
currently you've got an average of about 16,000 in League 2.
League 2, and then when it's games like this today, we've got like 23,000.
Is there more today because of how big the game is and you're going for the league title and stuff?
Yeah, and also the ticket price. So today's a tenner.
Tenner, isn't it? Yeah, I only paid a tenner for today.
So it's getting that fan base back to get behind the club. When you go in today, it's massive atmosphere. There's some fans last night really putting flags up.
Yeah,
so
nice.
I told all fans been for about 2:45.
Oh, quality. Should be a great atmosphere then today. Probably one of the best atmospheres in the country today. That's League 2.
Oh yeah.
And so who else in this league has a fan base even close to yours? Who's come here and a good away fan or whatever, or you've been away or whatever?
Notts County.
Notts County, yeah.
Notts County got a
big side, haven't they?
Yeah. They've got history, haven't they, really?
Exactly, yeah.
I went to Port Vale on Tuesday night.
Okay, yeah.
I were for a top at table clash. I thought there'd be more there.
Yeah, right, okay. But there's no one that really comes. Look at that.
No, there's no more.
No one comes close to that in this league, do they?
It's weird. Feel like a Championship club, but because of the history and the financial constraints at the club and stuff, what's happened, we're having about 3 or 4 administrations in a short period.
Is that in the last how many years?
You're looking, so the first time I went into administration was 2004.
Okay.
Because 2002 actually.
So you've been through like 2 or 3 or 4 administrations in the last like 20 years?
20 years, yeah.
God,
Six Premiership.
And for you then, with a fan base the size of this, stadium the size of this, you must see teams like Bournemouth who are up in the Premier League now, and teams like Huddersfield have done it, haven't they, in recent years? Like they must be your rivals, like local rivals and stuff. So all these teams that have been in the Prem, yet you haven't for 20 or so years.
20 years, we haven't even been in top championship since 2004.
Wow, look at this place, it's huge! How is this League 2? Is it always as busy as this? No. How many do you reckon doing it now then? 24? 23,000 for the 4th tier. The most fascinating part of this video is still to come, where I'll show you some of the teams around Europe that Bradford have a higher average attendance than. I'll also show you where they kind of fit within the English pyramid in terms of the amount of fans they get as well. But first, a bit of background about them. They were formed in 1903 and were immediately elected into the Football League's 2nd Division. They won the 2nd Division title in the 1907-08 season and then won the FA Cup in 1911. Here's the FA Cup winning team. They beat Newcastle 1-0 in an FA Cup final replay on the 26th of April 1911. This remains the club's only major honour. So within their first few years, they'd won a league title, got to the top tier of English football and had won a major trophy. But as you can see from this graph, post World War I, they did have a bit of a drop off. They left the top flight in the 1920s and wouldn't be back there until the early 2000s. And even during their entire history, they've been more of a 3rd/4th tier club. Look at them in the 60s and the 70s, then even in the 80s. Like, it took them a long time to even get up to the 2nd tier. They were League Cup runners up in 2013, probably their most recent kind of bit of success. During their mini little golden period of top tier football in the late 90s, early 2000s, they even did play a couple of European games. They were a part of the late great Intertoto Cup in 2000. They beat a team from Lithuania 7-2 in the 2nd round. They beat RKC Waalwijk of the Netherlands 3-0 in the 3rd round. They got knocked out in the semi-finals, believe it or not, quite convincingly to Russian giants Zenit St. Petersburg. We've just covered their history, and I got to witness my own piece of Bradford history in this game. Here comes the quickest goal in their history.
Your number 23 is brought to by Player Dynamics. He's one of our own. Bowling Porter!
Yeah, nice. So how long was that? Like 10 seconds? Yeah. A goal within 10 seconds?
I didn't expect that.
Oh, that's unreal. So here we go. Here's my favourite part of the video. So Bradford have by far the highest average attendance in League 2. They're averaging around 17,500 people inside their 25,000 seater stadium. They don't have the biggest stadium in League 2. That goes to MK Dons, who only get around 6.8 thousand per game. Moving on from League 2, what about League 1? Bradford have got a higher attendance than every team in League 1 except from 3. That's local Yorkshire rivals Huddersfield, Bolton Wanderers and Birmingham City, who are both big clubs in their own right. And what about the Championship? There are numerous clubs in the Championship that Bradford have a higher average attendance than. They are Luton, Oxford, Millwall, Plymouth, Swansea, Blackburn and Queen's Park Rangers. And then what about England's top division, the Premier League? They have a higher average attendance than Bournemouth. Of course, Bournemouth only have an 11,000 seater stadium. And Brentford as well. Brentford have a 17,000 seater stadium, meaning that by a few hundred people, Bradford of League 2 have a higher average attendance than 2 Premier League clubs. What about around the world? If in some alternate reality, Bradford was actually in Spain, they would be around the 15th or 16th most watched team in the top league. They'd be getting more fans than CD Leganés, Getafe, Girona, Rayo Vallecano and Deportivo Alaves. And they're just shy of Villarreal, who won the Europa League a couple of years ago. What about in Italy? They're getting more fans than Empoli, than Venezia, Como 1907, Monza, Cagliari. Obviously the Bundesliga is lauded as an incredible league with some of the best crowds and some of the best attendances, which it is. Bradford still wouldn't be bottom though. They'd still be above Heidenheim and Holstein Kiel. What about Ligue 1 in France? Bradford are bringing in more fans than Monaco, Angers, Montpellier, Brest, Stade Reims and Auxerre. And then what about in the Scottish Premiership? They're getting slightly more than Hibs and around roughly the same as Aberdeen or Hearts. Although they are getting roughly the same number as Aberdeen, Bradford does have double the size of population. But yeah, they're just some of the teams that Bradford are outselling this season. We have one of the most knowledgeable comment sections in football YouTube, so I'm sure there's some more clubs out there that you can let me know of. Anyway, back to the game, which means so much to Bradford, and Crewe, the away side, have just been awarded a penalty.
It's been getting quite leery between the Bradford fans. Look, we are as close to the away fans as you could get. Oh, it's all threatening to kick off a little bit. Oh, but they went mental with it. Obviously hard to take a penalty in front of that massive crowd trying to put you off.
Really interesting being sat here for the first half. I didn't realise I'd be this close to the away fans, which are right there. It does get pretty leery between the two sets of fans. But yeah, 1-0 to Bradford at half time. And I'm just sat here, keep having to remind myself, this is a 4th tier football match.
So who was it that was top earlier? Walsall. Walsall, yeah.
And so currently, as things stand, because they lost earlier, you're top of the league.
Yeah.
Nice. It's all tight though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So kicking towards the Kop second half then?
Yeah.
Do they always kick towards the Kop in the second half?
They generally try.
Try to, yeah?
Nice.
Just look how big that stand is, how steep it is. Even all the way up there, look, there's like little boxes and press bits and stuff. 22,000. That's so good though, isn't it, for League 2?
Teams in the Championship don't get this.
No. Top division teams in other countries, Bournemouth.
Championship, stuff like that.
That's double what Bournemouth get at their stadium. Yeah, they only get 11,000 at their stadium.
Oh, look at that stand over there.
Oh, that stand's absolutely crazy right now, the clock. That big stand there.
And the away fans aren't happy to my left.
I've come down towards the front, ready for the end of the game. Look at this. What a place. So bizarre how this is a League 2 game.
Bradford City 2, through Renaissance Hill. Great thing always in a rally parade, making good fantastic support. A reminder that the match up against the Ashton Thursday against Knox County Thursday, April 17th. Online or from the rally parade ticket office, match open 9 AM on Monday morning.
What a club Bradford are. Their fans were incredible. All those fans there, 22,000 people for a 4th tier football match is just incredible. I know Bordeaux are in the 4th tier. I don't think they've been getting as many crowds, bigger crowds as what Bradford are getting. So I'm saying they're the best supported 4th tier team in the world. Let me know some more in the comment section below. Any more interesting clubs who are down the divisions who have amazing supports. A few Scottish connections in this video. Graham Alexander's their manager, and Sam Walker, who saved the penalty, was at Killy. We've seen him play a lot, and they've got a couple of Scottish players as well. So yeah, huge thank you for watching. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. I'm going to leave a couple of videos on screen. I mentioned the Harrogate one. I'll leave that on, and then something else from further afield maybe. A huge thanks for watching. Appreciate you all so much, and goodbye.